Hi, this is Anna Hackman from Green Talk, and today we have a really special guest on the show. We have Jessica Altair, and she's going to be talking about her brand new site. She's the CEO and founder of Double Impact, and she's going to, with her website, she's going to walk us through it and tell us how we can change our habits to become more sustainable and what kind of benefit that's going to give us. Jessica, thank you so much for being on the show. Tell us a little bit about Double Impact.
Well, hi, Anna. Thanks for having me. So, Double Impact is at its core a platform that allows consumers to give brands money to charity based on actions that they take. So, instead of having to open your wallet every time to show that you care about something, you can show you care with simple, sustainable daily actions. And, brands are on the other side rewarding you for good behaviors. And, instead of asking people, please care about this, please care about this, please care about this, we say, what do you care about? And it's for that charity that your everyday actions can count.
Now, I'm on your website right now, and some of the charities that are listed are, for instance, Healthy Child, Healthy World, Cancer Awareness, Pesticide Action. Can you ask to have another charity, and does those charities have to be some sort of green charity?
So that's a great question. The charities do not have to be a green charity at all. The idea behind Double Impact is really how do we get the masses involved? And we don't think that everyone necessarily cares first and foremost about like a green charity, and that's okay. I mean, breast cancer is not a green charity. World Wildlife Fund was on there before. It might be green, but you might just care about animals. So it does not have to be a green charity. As far as how do you get a new charity on there, right now it's one of two ways, although in the future there'll be more. One is when we talk to brands, they can bring a charity on that either they want to work with or they're already working with. The other is a charity coming to us and saying, we really love this and we want to be on your platform. And we have a partnership with a brand. So the real requirement is that there be a brand involved, obviously, because they are giving them.
So let's go through. I see like take simple steps. I'm going to click through to that. Does there, Jessica, on the site, does it let me show how I would, engage with my certain steps that you guys are deeming that
Um,
go towards
once
your.
you once you sign up,
Okay.
we take you through a very quick and easy tutorial and show you how, and it's quite easy. And the the simple steps we call them the actions we call them challenges, and so we sort of walk you through as you go through how it works, and take you through your first what we call challenge, which is a quiz. But I can also give you examples of how it works.
Okay, go ahead.
So
Because
there's a few buckets of things that you can do on the site. One is actually reducing your in-home energy usage compared to that of your friends. So if you want, and it's not required, and you can do it when you sign up, or you can do it later, you can tie your electric usage of your house to the site. You log into your um, utility. So depending on where you live, that'll be different. And we'll show you how you compare to either your neighbors if you don't have friends on the site, or to your friends that are on the site. And we normalize it for which city you live in. So we do take into account weather. And for most people, that's really interesting because you just don't know. It's typically opaque. I should mention, actually, sort of not obvious right away, but we use Facebook to connect you, and it makes it really easy to register. You don't have to set up a whole new account, which a lot of people hate, but also it makes it really easy to see what your friends are doing and share with them.
Jessica, are you there? Skype is really handing us a ball today. Jessica, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry everybody. Skype today has been acting extremely funny. This is actually my second interview today, and the first one was like buzzing. So everybody just take a deep breath. We're going to get through it. I actually logged in. I used my Facebook personal name, and I'm trying to get into the site so I can show people the buckets. Jessica, help me out here.
Am I supposed? I don't see your screen capture. Am I supposed to be able to?
No, but
Okay.
I logged in. I'm actually on the website. I logged in under Facebook. I did that like
Okay.
as you were talking, and
Great.
and then how do I get now into? like all these buckets that you're talking about so I can show people the steps? What did I do wrong?
What's the screen you see right now?
Just the front page, home.
Oh, and it's not letting you log in?
I logged in. I said I did the Facebook like you said, and it's not letting me go forward.
Well, I don't know. It should be letting you go forward. I can't see your screen, so it's hard for me to say,
Yeah,
but we
yeah.
know we've had many people sign up today. Um, so why don't we take a break from that and I'll get back to you.
Okay.
But
I'm trying to.
let me explain sort of how it works
Okay.
and in a nutshell. And like you said, we let people log in through Facebook, and the idea is really that it's on a social platform, so you can see what your friends are doing. You can collaborate with them or compete with them, whichever you want. And the buckets are as follows. One is you can just easily connect your electric utility if you want. You can connect it through the website of the utility and by using your username and password. Or if you don't want to do that,
We lost it. Skype is being really bad today. Jessica? Jessica?
I'm here.
Ugh, we lost Skype again. You were saying about that about the electric company connecting with your electric company.
Right. Oh, you know what? I think it might be my connection. Yeah, I was saying you can connect with your electric company either through using your username and password or by sending us a picture of your bill. Either one is fine with us. Obviously, connecting your site makes it easier month over month. And we show you how you compare to your friends. And you can earn what we call impact points. And the impact points are the currency on the site. And we show you how those points translate into something relevant for your charity. So if you pick, breast cancer awareness, then we show you, the hours of, preventative education that you're providing. Instead of just, you've saved $11.73, we show you something that's relevant for that charity.
So
The other
go ahead, I'm sorry.
the other big buckets are what we call challenges, and they come in several forms. One is quizzes and videos that you can do right on the site, and some of them we've created, and some of them our partners have created. For instance, Earthbound Farm is one of the brands we work with, and they've created like a quiz around what is organic, because a lot of people just see the word and it's thrown around, but they don't really know. The second bucket is
Jessica, the second bucket is
check-ins.
yeah, yeah. I'm like listening to you intently because like all of a sudden there'll be like nothing. So go ahead. The second bucket is check-ins.
And what we actually do is we don't make you check in on our site. When you check into different places on Facebook that we've deemed as a challenge, then you automatically get credit. So a great example is checking into public transportation or the farmers market, or one that will launch later this week around, Goodwill or Salvation Army. So places like that. The third is purchases. So online purchases that you do with our brand partners, we have a way to confirm it with them automatically, and you can get credit for that. And the fourth is a bigger bucket that we call daily dues. So it could be a vegetarian for a day, ditch your car for a day, hang dry your laundry, things that are actually not necessarily confirmable, but that you can come back and say that you did. And for the most part, we just believe you. And you can earn that way. And then the third big bucket is by recruiting friends. So the more people that you actually get to join, the more it helps you. So you can earn points that way as well.
And do the charities also solicit their members to join Double Impact?
Sure. We have the charities and the brands are both promoting us. It's sort of an ecosystem. Instead of just being a platform for brands and consumers, it's really brands, charities, and consumers. So it's a great way for them to get their name out there. And consumers are sharing back in the feed, I've earned 100 hours of preventative education for breast cancer, or I've earned, 100 square feet of land for animals. that kind of thing. And within those feed posts, they're mentioning the charities and they're mentioning the brands that are enabling them to do it. So it's really a positive, it's a what I like to call win-win-win for everyone involved.
So my question is, how the heck did you come up with this? I mean, it is very, it's a very, as I told you before we started this, I think it's genius. So,
Oh, well, thank you.
did you have a dream? I mean, did this come to you by divine intervention? How did this happen?
I think it happened like most good innovation. It was iterative. So I used to run business development and general manage what we called our platform, much of a product at a large social network called Bebo. When I left to start Formative after we got acquired by AOL, I knew I wanted to use these social mechanics that we use and are really powerful.
Big pause again. You stopped at powerful. Jessica,
Yeah.
you stopped at powerful.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So I wanted to use those mechanics and to make changing behavior and solving real problems both possible and fun. And I won't lie and say like,
God, Skype is terrible tonight. Jessica, you said that you stopped at you won't lie at.
oh, it's not like I just came up with the idea without thinking about anything else. We were iterating through a bunch of ideas, and I grew up in the Midwest, and I think there's definitely a lot of people that care about sustainability there, but there's definitely a lot of people that don't. And I thought, how can we get the masses to care? And really, it was about what I said at the beginning, which is let's stop asking them to care about something. Let's ask them what they care about. And so we did some tests, really building the product really iteratively. We first threw up a page or two to see if people were even interested in the concept. And they were. And then we started going to brands and it really resonated with them. And I think the thing that is really exciting is for brands is that they give currently as of 2010 in the US alone 15 billion, that's like with a B as in boy, in charitable giving. That's just in cash donations. And they're really not able to come back at the end of the day and show like business results for it. And we really wanted to help them solve that problem as well. So it's been an iterative process, and we're excited about the excitement. We know we have a long way to go, but it's definitely exciting.
Speaking about your business partners, is there a line in the sand that you draw on who can and cannot be your business partner? Because I did an article a while ago about CBS's Echo ads, and what struck me with their platform was I was concerned as who got to play ball. And how does that work with you guys? We have another internet connection problem. This is getting nauseating.
I'm there. Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can see from we launched only 6 weeks ago. So you can see from our launch partners that we went with brands that are what I would call born green. Earthbound Farm, Good Guide, Happy Baby / Happy Family Food, Tree Hugger. So yes, we're very conscious of who's there. We're not looking right now to support Chevron in what they're doing. I think I can't say that it's, I would say there is a gray area, but in general, the thought that we have is if your product or your business knowingly does harm to people, then we don't want to work with you. And that's not really a decision based on money or anything like that. It's based on keeping the product something that we really believe in and that consumers can feel like is authentic. Now, what that means and who fits in that those different boxes, I think there is gray area. It's certainly not completely objective. But we are very careful about that, and that's sort of the standard we hold ourselves to.
Do you have like a board of trustees that helps you with decisions as who to become partners, or is it more kind of the group that's working? You guys are working together.
I mean, we don't have a trustees. We have investors um, who are perhaps more concerned than trustees. We have investors and advisors, so it's certainly good to tap them. In decision making. For instance, one of our advisors is, at Participant Media.
One of your advisors is, we blanked out again.
Is at Participant Media, the company behind Inconvenient Truth and Waiting for Superman. So different people serve different roles, and she's someone I would go to if I had a question about, like, do you think this brand is questionable?
Big blank again.
Brands that have good intentions, whose products are meant to do good, not harm.
So that's good to know, because like there are some brands that have their good side and they have their bad side, and
right.
and then for there's some people, like your public might say, fine, as long as they're doing something good, I'm good with it, and then there's those people that say, well, gosh, what about their evil twin sister? So
right.
That's
right.
that's the gray area that you're going to do. Now, when they partner with you, what kind of benefit are they getting out of it? Are they going to be are you going to be advertising their products, just saying that you're a partner? How do they get a benefit behind it?
So there's I think 4 major benefits for the brands. One is they're engaging consumers, A, in general, but B, on a really hot passion point. So if someone cares about breast cancer awareness, or they care about education, that's something they genuinely care about. So that's number one. They're really engaging the user, and I think part of the social side of it is that they're having this conversation with the user. They're not just talking at them, they're talking with them.
But how are they going to be engaging with, I know they can say, look, I want you guys to support breast cancer, let's say, but how, in the end of the day, they still want to sell product, or they want their content known.
Sure.
So that's what my question kind of is.
So I think there's 2 parts there. One is brand awareness. So the users, when they, we're very deeply integrated with Facebook. So when users are sharing back, or when they're inviting friends, or when they're sort of shouting about the accomplishments that they've done, the brands get shared in the feed, and people can see what's happening, what those brands are doing. And it's a much more authentic way to get that message out there than the brand just, issuing a press release and then hiding it in their annual report. So you could imagine a feed post where it says, where you post something and you say, I've earned 100 hours of research for breast cancer. I'm earning, I'm helping cure breast cancer by being more sustainable thanks to. What you mentioned is around products and content and different behaviors that they want. And we have what we call branded challenges. So as I mentioned, Earthbound Farm does a quiz around organic that has their branding on it. And Happy Baby will have a challenge around one of their products. So it's very integrated into the platform to be able to have these branded challenges that can either be showing you content that the brand wants, like Tree
Hugger. Jessica, what does Tree Hugger want to do?
Tree Hugger has a lot of content. So if they wanted someone to see an article, or take a quiz, or watch a video, that could be a challenge. If Seventh Generation, who isn't a partner, but wanted to give someone points for buying their detergent online, or diapers.com, or anyone like that, we can give them points for that as well. So those branded challenges are really easy ways, but really powerful ways to get the brand involved from a product and content side, and have people sort of being rewarded for that, in addition to just their everyday behaviors.
Now, what about some of the companies that are smaller? Like a smaller, Seven Generations is a pretty nice sized company. Tree Hugger is a pretty nice sized company. That smaller, mid-sized company.
Yeah.
Is there, I'm sure it's monetarily as to what they can and can't. I mean, how does that all work? Like a large company versus a small company. Is there a scale? Is there, like you can do the following things almost like a checkbox, like if you pay the following monies? I mean, how does that all work?
You mean from how do we charge them, or
Yeah.
how are they doing
Yes.
charitable giving?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really depend on the company's size. It just depends on what they kind of want to spend to get the message out there. And the way that we work is that we charge the companies for the value we deliver, which means through the marketing side of it and for using our platform. We're not touching the charitable dollars, so we're not taking money out of the charity's pocket. And I think that's really important and really different. So if a smaller company comes to us and they want to just do something smaller, then they won't get as many sort of, think of it as features. But there's sort of a tiered packages approach that companies can buy. So
For example,
and
Jessica, go back to, like you said, a tier approach. We had that big space again.
so there's a tiered approach. So if you just come in and you say, I want to give money and that's all, and I want to see, that's all I have, and I want to go through the platform and have people shouting about us in the feed, then that's sort of like the lowest end. And at the highest end, you could be asking for more branded challenges, integration with your Facebook page, a customized landing page. So when you send people to our site, they get to see, just you there. So there's different customizations that we do with different sort of features. And that's how we charge companies. So that's a tiered approach that we use. And if a small company wants to spend more money, then they're at a higher tier. It doesn't necessarily depend on the company size.
And how long have you been kicking this idea around?
Believe it or not, we just conceived of it in March.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Because it sounds so well planned out.
It's a lot of hard work that my team has put in. But we started testing it like in March, and we launched.
You launched when?
Make it come to fruition so quickly is because of the excitement we saw from all ends, from charities, from consumers, from brands, and we just wanted to really get it out there.
I think it's an amazing idea. I think that it's going to be very exciting, especially with Facebook, because people love to know what other people are doing. It's kind of very voyeuristic, and
Right.
I think that people will be, wow, if they're doing that, I'm going to do that. Demographically, what are you seeing right now signing up? Is it ages across the board? Are you seeing more younger people? I mean, do you do those demographics when they sign up, or you know it from Facebook? We have another internet connection problem.
We generally know it from Facebook if you've given that information. But we see it actually, it's definitely skewing more towards women, which is not super surprising. But a lot of our super users are men. I think there's that competitive spirit. And it's really across the board right now. There isn't one age group. What we thought at the beginning, which I still think is true, is like two huge groups will be moms and millennials. We hear a lot from moms that this is a great way for me to get involved, but also do stuff with my kids. That's not me sort of nagging them. And millennials are just, I think, excited in general about the opportunity. They're obviously very familiar with the social side of things, and they don't necessarily have deep pockets. So this is extremely exciting for them. But we've really seen it be across the board.
Now, just for people who don't know what millennials are, what age group is that?
It's sort of broad for us, but we think it's to like mid-teens to mid-20s.
Wow, that's really exciting. I know you're just at the beginning of it, but what do you see yourself 2 years from now? Where do you see this company going?
Well, hopefully we're ubiquitous across web and mobile and many other devices. We definitely think mobile is important. But the biggest thing is that we change the way that corporate giving is done, and we're changing the way people think about their everyday actions. I think in the past, and there's a great video on our site that someone did, we call a drop in the bucket. But I think people think that our actions or their giving is just a drop in the bucket. And what we really want to do is show you that it's not, and that your everyday actions can pay off. And on the flip side, we want corporations and brands to see the real business value out of the charitable giving that they do, not just sort of checking the box or this side passion project, but it's something that really drives business value.
Last question that I have for you, because I was so intrigued by your whole business model and how you got started. There's so many people that have an idea, and could you give some advice on how to? I know you also are, I think, the CEO of founding.com or founders.com, or I may say that wrong, like helping to find people to get together to do
founder dating.
I love that. It was like speed dating to find people to do I was like, what a great name. But how did you find people that is this people from your old Bebo days, or how did you get it together where you have a collective group of people that you can, rely on and pull this off and able to sleep at night? I mean, I don't know if you're sleeping at night, but I'm just assuming that you are. But what kind of advice can you give to other entrepreneurs out there who really have this passion, this drive to do something like similar, not similar, but you know what I'm talking, like a great idea?
Right. I think the biggest thing that I see and that working in startups has taught me is that you can start small, meaning like if you have an idea, find ways to test it cheaply, even if it's not the prettiest thing or if it's just 20% of your idea. So for instance, when we thought of the idea, we literally threw up a web page and we sent people there and we said, would you try to move on? Is this interesting to you? So test things and test your assumptions in pretty cheap ways is really possible right now with everything available on the web, from WordPress to forms to Google. All my friends in Silicon Valley and San Francisco that started a company, none of it started with like this huge, team with a beautifully designed site, etc. It's all been really iterative. And so I would say, like, think of your idea, but then knock it down to like what's at the core of it. What's that 10% that really matters that you want to test? Because what we say at Founder Dating, the other company I started, is that the idea will probably change, but the people won't. So, start testing, start working on something. I think the hardest part is taking that first leap and starting something, and you'll know if you're really into it, if you can't think about something else, or you can't sleep at night because you're coming up with so many ideas. So just start small, start in any way you can. It's not always the ideal situation, and I think that's what makes entrepreneurship fun, is that you can't really predict it. So if it's throwing up a WordPress page to see if people are interested, or throwing a party with a couple girlfriends to see if how they react to it. There's really sort of inexpensive ways to test things nowadays, especially on the web. And I would say just get started. That's the hardest part.
But with your background was with startups?
Yeah, in the most recent past, my background is all startups. And I know enough about myself, having worked at small and big companies, to know that I'm a startup person. I like creating things. I like moving fast. I like experimenting. And that's harder in big companies. I won't say impossible, but it's definitely harder. Yes, I had the good fortune of being at startups before and trying new things and having been at successful startups, having a great network. But, you know, if you're passionate about something, try it.
I have to tell you, I think your idea is phenomenal, and I hope that it catches on like wildfire because I think
Oh, thank you so much.
and last thing I just wanted to tell you, I noticed that you went to University of Michigan. Go Blue.
Yes, go blue. I did.
My son's there. So
Oh,
and
can't say enough good things.
just to let you on a side note, I'm a Buckeye, and that was
Oh
very
God.
yeah yeah that was painful. Yeah,
I'm glad you told me after the interview.
because that was it was very painful to let him go to Michigan, but it's a great school, and I'm sure it taught you a lot of great things. Jessica, I wish you the best with this, and I'm sure that we'll be talking in the future. I'm sure this what I'm seeing now today in a year may be slightly different and expanding and keep growing because it sounds
Absolutely.
like what you're doing is actually, like you said, you're putting your first foot forward. And I encourage people to take your advice because life's too short.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Okay,
And life's way too short to do something you aren't excited about doing.
and it sounds like you're really excited about this. So again, readers and listeners, I will be having on the website the article, the podcast, as well as a short article about it and probably have more pictures. And I myself are going to work on getting back into the site because I don't know what I did, probably something extremely stupid, and show some pictures of it to show the buckets and things like that. Jessica, thank you so much for your time. I'm sure you're extremely busy and with this startup. And thanks for giving me the time to talk to you about your idea.
No, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And if anyone has feedback, we more than welcome it. You can give it right on the site. There's a little feedback tab, and we really take it to heart. So send us your thoughts.